Girl Talk Tuesday, and today I have my boo, Leilani. And today we're going to be talking about interracial dating. Lord. So both of us have dated outside of our race, and we've both experienced good and bad.
And awkward.
So yeah, and very, very awkward. So today we're just gonna have a chit chat about that. So what do you think like the main obstacle is when you're trying to like date outside your race?
I would probably say like trying to like meet halfway and understand each other, because sometimes when you come from a different culture, like,
do you mean just like understanding each other's like values and morals, or like language?
That too, especially if you're like messing with somebody that like hasn't been in this country for like a very long time. I mean, my boyfriend, he's been in this country for like 10 years.
Oh, okay, so he should be good.
Yeah, he's good, but he still needs to be acclimated with some things that in this culture that is different from Kazakhstan. He's Russian, but he lived in Kazakhstan, which is like a small country right next to Russia.
Oh, okay, that's good. Is this his first time dating a black woman?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
Lord,
so
Jesus.
I think his...
See, here's the thing. Here's the tea on that. I feel like I can date outside of my race as long as I'm not the first black bitch that they get with. Because I just can't, I don't have time to explain like, my weave and don't touch this. So you guys don't feel like right now there's anything that's like super challenging?
I think the main thing is like understanding like my attitude.
Oh yeah.
Because you know, like I don't want to be like stereotypical and say like, oh, all black girls are sassy and have an attitude. But you know,
yeah,
we do. Like we're very outspoken. I know I'm outspoken, so I'm going to speak my mind.
Yeah,
and maybe culturally, like the women are a little bit more submissive.
Yeah.
And you know.
Well, I think submissive in a different manner, because I had a conversation with my friend about that, and she was explaining that she feels as though black women are submissive, and I'm like, girl, I just think that it's different. There's different levels and different types of being submissive. Like, submissive isn't your nigga being like, oh, shut up, and you shut up. Like, you know what I mean? There's different ways that you can express that within a relationship. So I do feel like me being able to speak my mind and explain to you the things that I value and my opinion on things doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not being submissive towards my man.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm listening, but I have an opinion and I have a view on things as well. And what does that say for you if you're not even trying to understand my view or listen to the things that I have to say?
Sometimes you get a little bit more sensitive when you're dating outside of your race, because you know, like sometimes you feel like, oh, maybe they don't understand my perspective, or maybe you feel like you're low key like being disrespected, so you have to like you have to like you know, stand your ground and be like, no, I'm gonna defend my honor and say this, that, and the other.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point too, because growing up, I mean, you know, we're childhood friends, so I never liked black guys. I never wanted to date no black man. I was like, no, he ain't for me. I'm about to go get a little Jose, my little Mexican boo.
Yeah, you was on him.
I was on him. So, but once I started dating Mexican guys and different, you know, races and stuff like that, I really felt like I was constantly having to defend myself and defend like, no, it's not like that. They're saying this because of that. Like, I remember one time our high school got into a big old giant rival. And and they were like literally like Mexicans against blacks, and everybody was just going at it. And I was like telling him like, wow, that's crazy. He's like, that's your people. And I was like, excuse me, boo. Like, you know what I mean? So it was so hard, because it's like, yeah, we like each other, but it's like we're torn because we had to pick sides. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and really be like...
A lot of times society puts that on you. Especially when you're out in public and people are just like giving you... Sometimes I get the side eye. I see you brothers giving you the side eye.
But don't we do the same things to guys
I really try not to.
Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
Alright.
Do you think that there's a big difference sexually when you date outside of your race?
As far as like the size and like,
no, because my niggas got little dicks too. So let's just put it out there. Them niggas. I mean, I don't think not about size. I'm talking about like, well, a friend of mine told me that it was her first time dating outside her race, and she was dating a white man, and he didn't know how to eat pussy.
Oh, that's just unfortunate for him, because of my boo. Like, I'm fine. I'm good. Everything's wonderful. No, so definitely not.
Okay.
I think it's just an individual thing.
Individual thing?
Yeah. Because he's fine.
For me, I felt like the guys that I have went there with that were outside of my race, it wasn't necessarily like bad, but it was like, let me just teach you just one or two things, and then you will be good.
Okay. Well,
so I can't. I don't want to put them all together and say like all white men don't know how to eat pussy, but the ones that I've dated and it was like a general like no, like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I definitely think that that's good that he knows how, especially
I mean, I'm very vocal. Like I'm not. That's what's really good about the relationship is like even in the bedroom, like we communicate. We like, you know, we try to be like all sensual and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it's sexy that a man can like be open about what he likes. And
yeah,
what he doesn't like.
because you could think that you're like the best in the world, and that's why if people ask you, like, you remember how your younger niggas is like, do you know how to suck dick good? Do you know how to do this? It's like I never was like, yeah, my shit's 8-1. I'm always like, oh, you know, I'm alright, like, you know, and let me put the shit on you and then show you, like. But I just want you to teach me how you like it, because that is like important, like, because I would want the same thing.
And it's like we're all adults here, like we're not in high school, like we should be able to talk about like sex openly.
Like, I just don't want to be struggling for a nut because I don't want to talk to you about the way that I like it.
That's how marriages end up being like.
Yeah, because she told that nigga he was whack as fuck, and she just laid there
mad. Like,
yeah, and then she mad, and then she got to go get Daryl and Dennis and whoever the fuck else. Yeah,
like what do you mean?
And does he have like a lot of questions? Like, since you are like technically his first black woman, does he like ask you a lot of like racial questions and stuff like that?
I mean, we try not to like, you know, harp on like race, because that's when racial tensions can come about, when you start talking a lot about race and just like focusing so much on race. We try to just like look at each other as like people. Okay, so it was a music question.
Oh, for his music?
No, my music.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't know who Erykah Badu was. He didn't know who Erykah Badu was. It's okay.
Right.
I love you. I love you. All right. But you didn't know who Erykah Badu was.
We're going to get you together.
Yes. He didn't know who Erykah Badu was, and I had to like kind of school him. I was like, look, she's a legend. Like how, you know, like she's been around.
Well, good thing you asked me before you asked anybody else.
I had to get him out there. Like, I can't be having him out there in the streets looking like crazy.
Are you opposed to dating black men?
No, I'm not opposed to dating black men. It's just I haven't met the right black man, and I hate to be like saying, I don't like to generalize.
Okay.
I really hate to generalize, but I live in the valley, and the valley is very small.
Oh, yeah.
And so like the network of like black men is just like very small.
And see, when I was living in the valley and things like that, like it would be the same thing for me. And then as soon as I moved to the city, I was like, oh, they got whole little snacks out here, like.
And that's probably
you
what
know
it is.
I mean? Like,
obviously, exactly. I probably would be with a black guy if I moved to like Culver City or
exactly,
where there's like a lot. It's like more concentrated black people there. So
okay, so have you met his parents?
I met his mom, I met his grandma, I met his little brother.
And how was it? Were they like receptive to you, or were they like?
Yeah, I was really nervous because I don't know how traditional, you know, they are. Because sometimes you gotta be mindful of that. Sometimes the families are not open to other races or other cultures. They want to like, and that's, I wouldn't say like they're necessarily racist. It's just like a very strong like. There's a lot of history.
I like when people say that you're born racist. You know what I mean? It's like you're not really. You're taught racism, but at the same time, if that was your upbringing and that's your history, to know that if you're a Russian man, you're gonna marry a Russian woman, and then you bring a little chocolate thing up in there. It's like, where's she come from? Like, what is you doing?